Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at McFarlane, DC Multiverse, DC Direct, Page Puncher Red Hood. This is Red Hood from Batman The Adventures Continue, which is a comic continuation of Batman the Animated Series. This is a re-release of a figure that DC Direct made 4 or 5 years ago. I believe it was from the last wave of animated figures before they went under. One interesting thing about this figure is he has guns. Any officially licensed DC figure is not supposed to come with guns in any way, shape, or form. This is advertised as ages 17+, which is a little bit older than your average McFarlane figures advertised for, so I guess that's a loophole to get around the gun thing. I printed this guy for the McFarlane toy store, took advantage of the bundle discount, the coupon code, and my platinum membership discount, and even after shipping and taxes, got these guys for less than retail. So let's take a look at the packaging, which is done in the clear clamshell. As you can see at the top, DC, McFarlane Toys. Ages 17+ includes an English comic book. DC Direct, Red Hood. Here he is in the package. Looks like we have a total of 8 alternate hands, 2 heads, a batarang, a pistol, a rocket launcher, a collector's card, and a display stand. Both sides of the package are pretty blank. At the back, we have Batman The Adventures Continue number 5, featuring Red Hood, Batman, Joker, Nightwing, Robin, and Batgirl. At the bottom, there's his barcode, if it helps anybody. Can't quite see the numbers that good there. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Here's a look at the original DC Direct version of this Red Hood. This came out about 5 years ago. And like I said before, I did get the entire way from the McFarlane toy store. The comic Chris Reeve Superman, the comic animated Red Hood, and a comic version of Shazam. Both Red Hood and Shazam have Platinum Chase variants, and I'm a hunt for both of them. If anybody has a lead on where I can get one for a reasonable price, or can possibly help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. Well, alright. Now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. Comes with quite a bit of cool stuff. We have a display stand, a collector's card, a reprint of Batman The Adventures Continue number 5, a total of 8 interchangeable hands, 2 heads, a rocket launcher, a pistol, and a batarang. Before we download all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Red Hood. This is Jason Todd. He's from the comics, but it's from the Batman the Animated Series universe. I must confess I have not actually read the comic, but I assume Jason Todd was Robin briefly, got killed by the Joker, and came back as Red Hood. It makes for a cool figure, but he's just very, very small. So let's take a closer look. He's in his traditional sort of biker look. He's got the red helmet, wide eyes, a couple of sort of dark lines going across the top. You can see where his ears would be. Nothing where the mouth is. He's in the biker look, but does not have the Batman logo on his chest. So he's not exactly part of the Bat family, but honestly probably is. As you can see on the cover here, he's holding a batarang. In most of the comics, when he first came, he sort of fought Batman, and then ended up becoming a member of the Bat family once again. He's in a brown leather jacket. You can kind of see it lighter here. I don't know, simulating fur or whatever. He has single jointed elbows. The collar, little sleeve here thing looks kind of weird. He's got a holster for his guns. And yes, I said guns. He comes with a pistol and a rocket launcher. It's very interesting that they make the animated figure in this wave. He does a single jointed elbows and knees, a little bit of sort of cell shading it looks like. There's the bat symbol on his back, so I guess he is a full member of the Bat family at this point. Like I was saying before, it is interesting that they're putting the smaller animated figures into the Page Puncher wave. And normally they charge $25 for an animated figure. I guess the Page Puncher's the same price. They did some of this with the Multiverse waves mixed in some of the Batman Beyond figures. I don't know, it just strikes me as very odd to have this guy in the Page Puncher line. They could have easily just released him in their animated line, so a little perplexing to me. I have a feeling they'll re-release the other figures that were from Batman The Adventures Continue. In fact, I'm pretty much certain of it. I do believe some of these figures are pretty valuable because they were at the last wave that DC Direct made before they went under. Some of them were kind of hard to get. They were made in fewer numbers. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that appreciate this. It's just really weird to sort of have him with what I consider a multiverse wave. I don't know, maybe moving forward the page punchers will exist with all kind of different figures. Who knows? And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It's that traditional Red Hood helmet. It's a red helmet, wide eyes, a little bit dark around the eyes, and some black lines going up and down the helmet. It looks pretty good, done in that sort of animated, cartoony kind of style. Pretty nice design, cool to add Red Hood to the animated collection and team. And here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Now to check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. So, here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's Batman standing on top of a roof of Gotham. Kind of odd, you'd think they would have a picture of Red Hood. It says Red Hood, shows Batman, kind of weird. At the back, there's a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Here's his display stand. It comes in 3 separate pieces. When put together, it looks like this. It has sort of a square base, and I'm surprised it doesn't say Batman the Adventures Continue on it. Then a post leading to the top with a clamp that can hold your figure. Now to take a look at the comic. This is a reprint of Batman the Adventures Continue number 5. You have the entire Bat family on the front. Red Hood, Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Batman, Joker, Laughing Fish, it's all there. Look at the side. Batman the Animated Series, the new Batman Adventures, sort of Timverse look. Looks like we're having some flashbacks. That must be Jason Todd, I would assume. And looks like Red Hood makes his appearance. Looks like it's a similar sort of story as Batman Under the Red Hood. I like the look. It's pretty nice. So here's the McFarlane reprint of this comic. And here's the original issue. This is the first print. I don't remember what happened, but mine seems to have some water damage to it. Batman Adventures Continue number 5. And then there's the cover variant of Batman The Adventures Continue number 5 as well. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 8 of them. 4 left hands and 4 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands. Here's his third pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger figures for his guns. And here's his final pair of hands. This is a pair of open hands. Here are his heads. He has 2 of them. One with a red helmet on, and one the unmasked Jason Todd head. He has this sort of gray streak going through his hair. Here's his first head. This has the red helmet on. You can also have him with the unmasked head, holding the helmet under his arms like he just took it off. And here's his second head. This is the unmasked Jason Todd head. He's got that gray streak through his hair that I see sometimes on Jason Todd. A lot of the time, when they make unmasked heads, I want to make a civilian version of the character. I pop this unmasked Jason Todd head onto this Marvel Legends body, and I have me, Jason Todd, in civilian attire. Yeah, the head is a little bit paler than the skin of the body, and unfortunately the body's a little bit larger than the Red Hood figure, but this is a 6-inch scale unmasked Jason Todd in civilian attire. I used the Hasbro animated Marvel Legends Spider-Man Peter Parker figure for this. Thought it worked pretty good. Here's his batarang. It's fairly basic. It's done in a red color scheme, which I think works really good for Robin or Red Hood. Pretty thin. It's made of a hard plastic. Here's a look at Jason Todd holding and getting ready to throw his batarang. Not so his guns. The sculpt is fairly basic, so it's a paint job, but it's still cool. We have this rocket launcher. It's got the trigger here, extra handle to support. And then we have the pistol. I mean, the weapons are fine, just a little bit basic. But the fact that we actually have guns is really cool. Now, I don't fully understand the rules about the no gun situation. For the longest time, no figures had guns. But now it seems like some figures can get guns. Maybe it's because this one was designed before the gun ban. Maybe it's because it says ages 17 plus. I don't know the answer. Maybe they had to put it in the page puncher line. It's all very confusing because they recently released the new Batman Adventure Scarecrow at the exact same price point, $24.99, and he didn't have the gun the original had. So, I don't know. It seems inconsistent, but it does seem to be loosening up at least a little bit. I mean, it's very obvious in the package it said ages 17 plus, whereas the other figures in the wave say ages 12 plus. Here he is, holding his pistol. Does have a little bit of trouble holding it straight in front of him. The shoulders don't really go in that way. But if you utilize the elbow rotation properly and the hinged wrist, you can have him holding the pistol pointing at you like this. Here's Red Hood holstering his pistol. Here's Red Hood holding this rocket launcher. It was really hard to get it into his hand, and he lacks the articulation to sort of hold the other side. So it's about the best you're going to get like this. Now to check out the differences and similarities between McFarlane's re-releases Red Hood and the original DC Direct version. It is 100% the same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. Most noticeable difference is going to be the jacket is a little bit lighter on the new version, so is the helmet. So let's take a closer look. They're both cel-shaded, which they definitely could have just made one that's not cel-shaded. That would have been better without these unnecessary lines all over them. Jacket, a little bit darker is the main difference. This guy has a white mark on his face. I don't think it's a scuff mark. I think it's just some sort of cel shading that this guy doesn't have. Now, the biggest part they messed up on, I was wondering why do his wrists look so weird here, but it's supposed to be like this. This is supposed to be the end of the jacket, then a little bit of flesh, then the top of the glove. McFarlane screwed that up and did not paint it properly, so it looks just weird. Beyond that, everything is pretty much the same. Originally I thought, well, if these guys are going to look exactly the same, I'll probably display one with the unmasked head and one with the masked head on. But because the jackets are different, I'll probably keep them as is. We'll see. Definitely a bunch of different display options to make the figures look different. Now they've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top, standing about 5.7 inches tall, which can translate to around 14.5 centimeters. And that's my biggest complaint about this guy. He's just so damn small. And for his articulation, starting with his head, can rotate side to side. Can't really look up and down. I guess it's just that simple rotation, even though it is on a ball joint. Shoulders go out about 90 degrees. And if you go up, it sort of forces them to go out, like so. Then he has single jointed elbow with rotation. His wrist can rotate and is hinged. Solid torso, traditional waist swivel. Legs, do the splits. Then go forward, not very much. Back, not at all. Single jointed knee with rotation. And the ankles, forward and back. Tilt rock. And they can't rotate. Here's a look at Red Hood in front of his motorcycle in the streets of Gotham City. Here he is, aiming his rocket launcher off a rooftop in Gotham. And here he is, riding his motorcycle down the streets of Gotham. Here he is on my Red Hood shelf, in his armory, getting geared up and ready to go. And then, here's a more of a modern Batman and family. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some of the Red Hood figures. Here he is, next to the previous DC Direct animated Red Hood. This one came out about 5 years ago. Here he is, next to all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Jason Todd Red Hood figures. Then, next to all my DC Direct Jason Todd figures. And now, with an Extreme Toys Red Hood figure. Next, with an amazing Yamaguchi Red Hood. Here he is, next to a couple of Mattel Red Hood figures. And here, with a Mafex Jason Todd. Then, with a custom Marvel Legends style Red Hood figure that I made before any of the companies made Red Hood figures. And now, with a couple of Jason Todd in civilian attire figures. The one on the left is 7-inch scale, the one on the right, 6-inch scale. Here's Jason Todd, next to 4 different Arkham Knight figures. In the video game, Arkham Knight turned out to be Jason Todd. In my action figure world, I use the Arkham Knight as a completely different character, just like they do in the comics. Here he is, next to several Joker as Red Hood figures by DC Direct and McFarlane. Originally, the Joker was Red Hood, fell into Vata Chemicals, and became the Joker. He killed Jason Todd when he was Robin, and Jason Todd took on the identity of Red Hood to sort of mock the Joker. And then here he is, next to the DC Direct Red Hood gang. In my action figure world, Red Hood gang is still active in Gotham. We have Jason Todd as Red Hood, and the Red Hood gang, and Jason Todd has some sort of vendetta against them. Here he is, next to the rest of this page puncher wave. We have the comic version of the Chris Reeve Superman, the comic animated version of the Red Hood, and a comic version of Shazam. What's weird is 2 of these figures are 7-inch scale, and one of them is a really small 6-inch scale. They definitely do not match, and they don't really belong in the same wave together. I think it's very odd. There are platinums of both Red Hood and Shazam that I'm on the hunt for. If anyone can help me out, drop me a line in the comments below. Now let's check them out. Next to some other DC Direct animated figures. Here he is, next to some other unique characters and figures from Batman The Adventures Continue. These are characters that weren't in Batman the Animated Series or the Bruce Timm-verse, but were introduced in the comics, at least I believe so. Deathstroke, Batman in the Armored Suit, Red Hood, Azrael, and the Batman Who Laughs. There were a couple of other figures they showed that were cancelled by DC Direct, and I hope McFarlane gets them out somehow. Thomas Wayne Batman, Vampire Batman, and Talon. I especially want that Talon figure. Here he is, next to McFarlane's most recent Batman the Animated Series wave. Batgirl, Lightning Strike Batman, Two-Face, Christmas Joker, Collective Build Maxi Zeus. These are cel-shaded, Build-A-Figure wave, and Target exclusives. Then, next to most recent, the new Batman Adventures wave. Blue and Gray Batman, Scarecrow, and the Riddler. Here's Red Hood, next to some DC Direct Batman the Animated Series Bat Family figures. And here he is, with some Batman the Adventures Continue Batman allies and Batman family members. Azrael, Nightwing, Batman, Red Hood, Robin, and Batgirl. And now, with McFarlane's Batman Beyond offerings, a couple of versions of the Terry McGinnis Batman, Old Man Bruce Wayne, and Ace the Bat-Hound. Here's a look at all the Batman villains, Batman the Animated Series style. These are done with DC Direct. Gonna add Condiment King to this mix. And here's a look at all the different animated villains, the new Batman Adventure style. Different style, same universe. They all look fantastic next to each other. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you will know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a DC Direct animated figure, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work with larger. Here he is with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts action figures, and now with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mayfix figures. Here's Red Hood, next to a box of Honey Nut Cheerios, and here he is with some Mattel and Mezco DC figures, then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures, and now with some NECA and DC Direct figures, next with some Diamond Select toys and Jakks Pacific wrestling figures, and finally with some McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Overall, it's a cool Red Hood figure. My biggest complaint, he's just so damn small. Yes, he's fairly in line with the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series figures, but for a 6-inch scale line, this guy clocking in at 5.6 or 5.7 inches tall just seems a little short. They also really messed up on the sleeves on his jacket. That's honestly unforgivable. All they do is look at the existing figure and paint it the same way. I wish this release didn't have the cel shading. It would make something at least different from collectors like me who have been getting these animated figures since day one. Still, it is a nice figure. I do appreciate the fact that the jacket's a little bit different so I can tell it apart. His articulation is kind of on the limited side. These are one of the earlier, or rather later, DC animated figures that first started using the rubber diapers instead of the old school sort of ugly hips. I really appreciate where DC Direct was taking the line. They were improving, but then they just sort of stopped. I also appreciate the fact that he comes with guns. I don't fully understand the no gun ban where it sits right now, but I'm happy this guy has his guns. If I were to rate this guy, first thought, 6 out of 10. He's nice, he looks good. I bumped him up to a 6.5, but he's just so damn small. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to save the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.